The phone at 519-570-2545. Steve's at the other end. And Steve, you're on 570 News, the hour of rage. Let her go, my friend.
All right. It's funny, I'm looking at that picture right now on the front page of the Record here. Those tracks are deplorable. Oh my gosh, I can't imagine a train even would function on something like that. That's brutal. Anyway.
Well, go ahead, buddy.
Section B, front page of the local section here in the Record, climate battle waged locally. And oh joy, we're going to have advertisements on radio stations proclaiming the dangers of global warming. There's going to be postcards left on doors, future advertisements that'll run nationally on television to scare us about global warming. I got some news for you, people. There is no global warming. It's all a lie, and it's all to pull more tax money out of your pocket. Any warming that was going on this planet stopped in 1998. Why don't you just check out the figures? So we're in a cooling mode. Some scientists believe we could be in a cooling mode for the next 10 to 20 years, depending on the sun, which is the driving force behind all temperature. And second of all, a British court has shown that CO2 is not the driving factor behind any potential man-made global warming, if there is any such thing. CO2 actually rises after the temperature of the planet warms because oceans and water release CO2 when they get warmer. So there is no global warming. CO2 doesn't cause it. Enough already. I'm sick of these largely funded companies or groups that are lobbying to impose a carbon tax on us, a carbon tax that will control every aspect of our life. They will tell us what temperature our house can be, how far you can drive in a week. It'll tell you how many kids you can have. Wake up. This is about control and power and money, and you've got a government in charge in the United States with Obama and Gore being a Democrat that are the driving forces behind this because it's big money. It's trillions. It's hundreds of trillions of dollars in our lifetime that they want to take from us and control us. So wake up, speak out. Don't be afraid. Let's get going on this and boot these things. Somebody puts a flyer on your door, call them up and tell them to come back and pick it up.
Okay, thanks, Steve. Let's go. That's more than a mouthful today, and he was raging. That's what we want.
Is the legislation that we are discussing here today, is that something that you are going to personally benefit from?
If you believe that the reason I have been working on this issue for 30 years is because of greed, you don't know me. I've been willing to put my money where my mouth is. Do you think there's something wrong with being active in business in this country?
I am simply asking for clarification.
I'm proud of it.
The relationship.
I'm proud of it. Congressman, you began by denying that there is a consensus on the science. There is a consensus on the science.
Well, you must have been listening to our testimony that we've had for the last few days with dozens of experts that have come in who have given completely different views.
Well,
I would encourage you to go back and look at the testimony this committee's heard.
There are people who still believe that the moon landing was staged on a movie lot in Arizona.
And neither of us are one of those, and I know you like giving those cute anecdotes. This is not a cutesy issue. We're talking about something that can export millions of jobs out of our economy, out of our country. Talk about carbon polluters. You talk about them. It's my understanding that back in 1997, when you were vice president, Enron's CEO, Ken Lay, was involved in discussions with you at the White House about helping develop this type of policy, this trading scheme. And is that accurate? Is it inaccurate? It's been reported.
I don't know, but I met with Ken Lay, as lots of people did, before anybody knew that he was a crook.
Right, and clearly you can see why so many of us are concerned about this type of cap-and-trade energy tax that would be literally turning over this country's energy economy. I didn't know him well enough to call him Kenny Boy. Well, but you knew him well enough to help devise this trading scheme, and obviously we know what Enron and these big guys on Wall Street like Goldman Sachs, and I know you've got interest with Goldman Sachs. No. Well, that's been reported. Is that not accurate?
No, I wish I did.
With executives from you're partnered in companies with executives from Goldman Sachs. Well, if you're not.